G'day friends, welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new, it's going to be really laid back and chatty today. First of all, thanks for all the lovely messages you left on my community post. I know I don't like to, or I don't think I ever really skip any Friday videos here on YouTube. If anything, I have been late before and I've been up at midnight posting a post like, it's coming, it's just exporting now. But I don't think I ever really skipped any, and I don't know if I made that clear last week. I didn't want to skip it and never put it up. I just didn't have anything ready and I just wasn't in a good place last Friday. Total personal stuff that I wouldn't get into here, but I just needed to take a break. So I took a break. I'm feeling much better now, and I figured I would get around to retroactively uploading a video for your Friday enjoyment on Tuesday. I don't have too long actually, because I'm going to get ready, and which is good. Not that I'm trying to cheat you out of a video. I have to get ready for an audition that I have this afternoon, which I'm really excited for. It's a Christmas audition, which is always exciting to be doing in July. You know me and my seasons, out of season. But it's good. It'll keep me consolidated because I have a lot of things on my desk. I'm going to call this video something like things I reach for. It's very particular to like right now in this period, especially like with the first thing I'm starting with. But you see these things in my Instagram posts or on YouTube videos and stuff, and I don't really ever go into explaining them all. So I figured I'd do a dedicated video to showing you the stuff and explaining what it is, so that when you see it pop up, you're like, oh, there's that thing. You can get a better understanding of what's going on. Anyway, this is a Sojourner Traveler's Notebook, and it's A5 size. I've got lots of my beautiful patches on here, and it is an old Hobonichi Techo cousin, A5 size, that I do all my workshops in. I have shown this before, but just in case you haven't seen it, there's mostly virtual voyage workshops in here, although the Daisy style workshop I did in here as well. Here's some of that stuff that you'll be familiar with if you've done that workshop, and I absolutely love it. This was gifted to me from a follower who wasn't using it anymore, and I was really curious a few years ago to get into Hobonichi as a brand, but I didn't know if I wanted to commit to purchasing it because it cost a lot of money to get it from Japan to here. And she was so kind and sent this to me and said, I'm not using this anymore, so if you'd like to, try it out, here you go. And so I've been using it for this ever since. I kind of dedicated it to being a workshop or like a teaching journal for me, because I teach a lot of guest spots on Art Journaling the Magic. I've taught from Mindy Lacefield before, and I do my own workshops, like full standalone workshops, and then also these live workshops like Virtual Voyage. So I'm always kind of putting together lessons and figuring out, like running orders of things and schedules and timetables and blah, blah, blah. And I'm doing a lot of it, and I figured it'd be great to have it all in one place. So I kind of dedicated it to this back in, 2021? This was what do I want to call it? The Virtual Voyage 3 cruise that we did. Freedom, Beauty, Truth, and Love. The Red Curtain Cruise, it's literally right there. I was staring off into the window and the answer was right in front of me. I think I had the journal before that, but that was when I decided I'm going to start working on it here. I think maybe I'm sure I worked on it before that, but in any case, it's got lots of Virtual Voyage stuff in here. So it's always a crack to look through and just enjoy seeing all the ideas that were and all the ideas that came to be. All the things that I never ended up doing this. These are all sketches of how I wanted to announce the themes for Virtual Voyage 4. I loved that one. There was the logo design for it. There's a lot that goes on in here. I mean, it's all lots of planning, like timetables and, dates of when I want to teach certain things, or I'm working out specifics of, notes that I need to make sure I address. And sometimes I would do like a little practice run of a lesson. Like here, this is a lesson we did in Virtual Voyage 4. Other times it's just little sketches and notes to myself. However, if I do need to do something a little bit more finished, or I need something, like it's a specific technique that I need better paper for, not better, this is gorgeous paper, but if I need to do watercolor techniques, I wouldn't really do it in here. I'll do it in another journal. But for the most part, everything gets passed through this journal. And I love looking through it, especially when I'm doing my workshops, because there's lots of ideas from other things that I've done that I never actually use. Like, I said with my Daisy style workshop that I was going to focus on 5 styles at a time. So these are the 5 styles that I chose, but there were more that I could have chosen from. So I think, I know this was one that I chose not to do. There was another one too. Might have been another journal somewhere or a note somewhere. Oh, this one, I didn't choose to do this one. But yeah. Lots of fun stuff to look at. I really do love just coming through this journal every now and again because it is almost finished, and so it feels really nice to flip through. And I'm not precious about it. Like you can see, I don't care that that's all there. Oh, Steve's calling. I'll be back in a second. All right. He just wanted to know a clothing brand that I was purchasing from, so gave him that information. This is when I went to the library. Sorry, this is not supposed to be a journal flip, and I am getting sidetracked, but I just love flipping through this. I can't show you too much further, though, because we're getting into Virtual Voyage 8, which is a surprise. It starts on August 2nd. It's not open for registration just yet, but I'll let you know when it is. But we do start everything on August 2nd, 2023. That is my little journal. Speaking of customized patches, this is a pouch that I got from Art Snacks. I love all the patches on here. At the moment, it's only got my connector pens in here. I got these from home. These are Faber-Castell connector pens. Just water-based markers that every Australian school child had. School child? Every child at school in Australia had. Anyway, I put patches all over mine because I just really wanted to, and I love it. And these patches are from everywhere. This was actually one that didn't work out. You can see the pink kind of mis-threaded. So this was actually like a rejected patch, but I still wanted to use it, and you can't really tell. But yeah, love that. Love the patches on it. I'm going to figure out a better usage for this because I don't really want to store the connector pens in here, but I just needed to put something in there for the time being. So that's that. I got that in the July Art Snacks Plus box. This is Faber-Castell as well. I pull these out whenever I want to do highlighting because I don't have any other highlighters. I do have this one. This one is like a loose one that I keep around just in case, but I always have these pretty handy and I just love them. These are Faber-Castell Text Liner 46 Ice. I don't know how different they are to everything else, but I just love the little rainbow configuration. And I got these from home as well. I feel like Australia has lots of Faber-Castell art supplies that we don't have here in the States. So it always, and I used a lot of those in school when I was growing up. So it was a little nostalgic for me to get Faber-Castell stuff, like these pens as well that I use. These are colored gel pens, not gel pens, colored ballpoint pens. These are Faber-Castell as well, the CX Color. I think I got them from Big W. I got all of these at the same time. I love me some Faber-Castell. So those are something I grab. What was I going to call this? Things I reach for? Let's call it that. If I didn't already call it that, I'm going to call it that. This is, oh, I wanted to show you this because I do reach for this and I love using these. I designed these for Virtual Voyage 6 bento box, which is like a little limited edition goodie box that I had made. They're wooden stamps, and I designed all of these little motifs because they're like little emoji kind of stamps. And I really, really love them, and they're super cute, and they all match the aesthetic, like the Japanese kawaii retro aesthetic that we had for Virtual Voyage 6. However, I did say that I put an order for these in recently, and I did, and unfortunately the manufacturer got back to me and said, now I've already had the plate set up and everything, like, so I don't need to do any more setup. It would just be doing a run for production, but they said to me, would I consider increasing my order because their factory is really busy right now, so they only want to accept larger orders. And so I was only going to put in a small order, like for 100 sets, which, you know, is nothing for their factory, but it's a lot for me. Like, I don't really have a ton of space to store everything, and, you know, do I really think more than 100 people are going to want these? No. So I was like, well, okay, I'll think about it. And then they got back to me and said, would you increase your sets to 500? And I was like, ooh, I mean, that's just a lot of money to float. I don't really know if I can move 500 of these boxes, because I think I was selling them for $20 for the set, which is comparable to what you would find in a brick and mortar store. Like the Mido that I go to has these sets for about $17.95. So I was like, well, I mean, it's expensive. I mean, just be real. So I was like, so maybe I don't know if I could sell 500 of them. Sorry for all the business talk, but I just wanted you to know the story because I haven't told anybody. But I actually said yes, like I will do the 500, and then they got back to me and said, sorry, the factory said no. Now the minimum order quantity is 2,000. So these will not be coming back anytime soon unless that factory gets really slow and they just need my small order. I cannot order 2,000 of them. So sorry about that. There were about, I think, 200 people, maybe 100. I don't know how many boxes I ended up ordering. Maybe it was just over 100. Actually, I think there are about 100 people that do have these sets around the world. So if you're in the Facebook group and you really are desperate to get your hands on some, I would just always suggest going into the Facebook group, the Burkmates Creative Outlet, and just putting out a post saying, does anyone have one of these that they'd be willing to part with? Sometimes people are looking to give something a new home if they don't use it that often. I use mine often, so I'm not really looking to part with mine, and I don't really have any spares either, so so sorry about that. I will continue to reach out to the company just in case they get a slower period, but yeah, for now it's a no-go on this set. I do have my other stamps in production though, but the wooden block set will not be happening soon. So sorry about that, but just needed to tell you. And it's also unfair that I put it in this video and you can't get it. It's just life, isn't it? This is a pencil case that I got from my Hobonichi Weeks that I don't actually use because when I put it on, I realized it would never lay flat. I don't know why I didn't realize that when I bought it. I love it. I love the little pencil case. And sometimes I would just throw it around, like if I need to pop it in my bag, but I don't just keep it attached to my planner. However, I keep it next to my desk, and then I keep these 4 pens in there specifically. They're Zebra Sarasa clip pens, but they're the Tokyo Disney Resort version, so they've got characters all over them. Super cute. And I keep these in there because these are the health effort stars that I have. So blue is for when I go for a walk. It has to be minimum 30 minutes for a walk to get a blue star. Zumba, when I go to Zumba, I get a green star. Weights, I have hand weights next to my desk, and sometimes I'll put a YouTube video on. I literally search for like I don't know what the last search I did for, but it was like seated dumbbell weights for seniors or something, because I wanted to start really, really low effort, and even that really broke me out in a sweat. So anyway, I thought that was funny. This one's not from the Disney set. It's just a regular pink one. And then so that's for the hand weights or weights in general, which I rarely do. And then red is for dancing. Love that one. So I keep all of those right next to my, like literally just off camera there, because I'm always trying to put a health effort star into my journal. Obviously, I always reach for my red blue pencil. The other day I got really bored and I colored in the lead to match the barrel, and now I think it looks really chic, so I don't want to sharpen it. That's stupid. This is something I always reach for as well. Both of these. This is obviously just a post-it note pad, but I have a lot of fun colors with the post-it notes. And then this is, I think Victory gave me this. It's a Mount Fuji themed notepad, and I'm almost all the way through it because I'll like test pens on there and get a pen working. Or the other day I was gluing those patches on and I had some glue that I needed to get off my brush, so I was just putting the glue on there. To have this little scratch pad like this is always so helpful, and a lot of what you see in my big jumbo journal with all my notes on here, like if I'm on the phone or something and just take a note, I'll just write it down on here. All of those just end up in the jumbo journal. So this is that notepad that's always next to my desk. It's actually on the desk, it's just always right next to me. Then this is almost empty, but I got this body glitter from Amazon, and I've been using it in all of my journals. I got it for Virtual Voyage 7 when I was doing the Blue Fairy, and I wanted to have sparkles in my face. It's a really cute body glitter. It's nice and chunky, but after I was finished with it, I kept using it in my journal. I think I did a swatch to be like, oh, I wore this to the night to kind of commemorate it. And then when I found out it stuck in there, because I thought it would just all flake off. It's not the strongest bond, but it did stick. I thought, oh great, I'll use this as glitter glue because I love glitter. So I've almost used a whole bottle of glitter glue in my journals, and I love it. It's getting really hard to get it out of the top there, so I have to get my finger in there and just like scoop it around. It gets messy. Here are another product I haven't really seen here in the States, but a brand that I find more of in Australia than I do here, but it's Staedtler, Staedtler. That's such a hard word to spell. And it's the Lumocolor Permanent. This is a set of 4, but I love that it sticks up like that, so it's super accessible. These will write on anything. Absolutely anything. And a lot of what I stick in my big jumbo journal is garbage, literal garbage that is plastic coated, and I want to be able to write on top of it and to draw things on top of it. So you can use a paint marker for that, but sometimes the paint markers can just be fussy. These, I wish they made a white version that worked really well. It'd be the best thing in the world. These will write on absolutely anything. Even says here, what does this say? Film, glass, styrofoam, wood, stone, metal, plastic. Literally anything. They're actually kind of not the best to write on paper with because they bleed a little bit, but yeah, if you're looking for a pen that'll write on all of it, definitely the Lumocolor Permanent. And I know Sharpies and stuff work like that, but I like that this is a pen because I feel like I can, draw if I want to as well, or just have a bit more control over it than a Sharpie. And the Sharpie I actually find wipes off a lot of things. This really doesn't. So I reach for that quite a lot. Trying to put things back as I go because I will lose everything. This I've been reaching for a lot as well. I use lots of black pens and black brush pens, but this one I got in an Art Snacks box and I rarely reach for it, and I don't know why because I love it. It's a metallic brush pen by Pentel. It's called Dual. Is it Dual? You're lying. It's not. Does this come off? That's not a brush in there. That's a pump. Am I crazy? Does that say dual? It says dual metallic brush. What do you mean by that? This could not be. It's a pump. There's no way that's another brush tip in there. I don't want to ruin it by pulling it out, but I'm so curious now. Recap after use, made in Japan. Well, I don't know what they mean by that, but it says it's metallic. To me, it's just got like a bit of shimmer in it. It's got this red shift of a shimmer, but it's a really flexible brush and it gets a really fine point and a really, really thick point, and it's really juicy with that pump action. So I've been using this a lot, especially for my Tim Burton stuff, because it gets very, very dark. Black backgrounds and this and such and the like. Can you see that shift? Really like that one. These are random things that I reach for as well. I love this 0.25 Muji gel pen. I need to get a couple more of these because my black has run out, and my red as well, I think. So I only got the navy blue that is really working right now. It's like a pin type pen. People find these a little scratchy. I definitely found them a little scratchy in the beginning, but just to write and do really fine drawings, I like it. In my Hobonichi 5-year. These pens I use non-stop. These are the free gift with purchase Hobonichi Techo, and they're the Uni Jetstream ink. And I have put replacements in all of mine. I think I have 3 of them. The teal one, there's the teal one. The brown one is in my bag, and the black one. So each year I get this free gift with purchase. Most of the time they've got the blue, black, and red, but I just had to put a refill in this one, and for some reason I had green in my refill box. So now I've got a green in here, which is the first time I've had that. It's on the blue channel because these don't change even if you put a different color in there. But yeah, love these. Always writing with these. I also really like promo gel pens. Sometimes they just work better than every other pen. And also there's like a real sense of like carelessness I can use with a gel pen like this. And sometimes they'll like bleed ink. This one doesn't, but they'll have these little blobs of ink that will bleed as you go. And if you use a water-based marker with that, you can smudge it out and get some really cute kind of mixed media-y effects. This one was made out of the timber from the footbridge at Back Beach or Back Creek at Southwest Rocks, which my family has walked on for generations. They replaced the bridge and put a new one there, but one of the local craftsmen took the wood from the bridge, the old footbridge that we used to jump off as kids, and he made all these pens out of it, and they were selling them at a local cafe. And when Steve and I went for lunch last year, or brunch or something, he saw them there and he got them for me because I felt like it was really nostalgic. I think it was about $20, which is a lot for a pen, but it's so sentimental. And they even said like if it was from the plank, the walking planks, or if it was from the handrails. So this was one of the walking plank ones. I really love that one. Reminds me of Gran. And then these are brass pens. I just really love the brass pens, although you have to be careful, like taking something like this on a plane, it does look like a bullet when you go through security, so just be careful. This one is just the ballpoint pen, which I really like because it has that pin type as well, and it's got this beautiful wooden body. I love this one, but I do get a little apprehensive to take it traveling because I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble because it looks like literal ammunition. This one I think is the Coeco Lilliput, and it's full brass body, and I love the clinking sound that it makes. Is that crazy? When I used to go to hairdressers, I would love when the hairdressers had lots of bangles on because I just loved all the clinking, clankling, jangling. Loved that. Beautiful ballpoint pen as well. Really like that. The body is a little too small for me to use without the lid on it, so I'm glad that it screws in. It also just feels very luxe, the brass. My stomach is rumbling. So weird, I just ate. And this is a fountain pen. This is a Traveler's Factory one. The first ballpoint one was a Traveler's Factory one as well. This is empty, it needs to be filled, but it's also just so beautiful to look at. And I like the brass a little bit more tarnished. I don't try to polish it up or keep it nice and new. I actually would love to patina it, like get it to turn like the green of the Statue of Liberty. How do you make that happen? It's got to oxidize, right? I'll go and leave mine on the Statue of Liberty and come back in 20 years. See if it's still there. All right, so that's that. This is random, but so is everything else in this video. This is a box. This is a box full of cat hair, apparently. This is a sorting pick box. I use these for my products for Etsy. I'll put all my washi tapes in here and then I'll put a sample on the front so when I'm packing orders I can pick from here. They're all stacked up on top of each other. I think I got them from Uline or something. They're just random cardboard boxes that you have to fold up. But I use this one to catch random things that are just floating around. Like when I open up my Art Snacks boxes and I've got these stickers I just need to do something with, or random post-its because I don't throw anything away because I'm a hoarder, and a swing tag. These with the backings of the patches that I made for that box that I just showed you. Oh look, there's the green packaging from that. The refill that I just showed you, this is from Art Snacks as well, like my last video. Everything that doesn't have a home goes straight in here. So not only does it keep me kind of organized and clean, the only thing that doesn't go in here is stuff that can't fit, like this is going into my journal, but it's still full of air, so I can't fit that in there just yet, but I'll put it with it so that all of my garbage and junk stays together. Put that over there. Oh, and this has photos in it, random photos and some other things I'm working on. That goes inside there as well. So that when I bring this out, I can just pop the box over there or take all the stuff out of it and just go to town. Like all of my stuff's in one place. I know where it all is and I can just have a good session with it. I don't have to go and collect it all every single time I want to go and, you know, have a big old journal play. So this is my big jumbo journal right now. I might show you this last because I'm sure I'll flip through it. But it kind of goes hand in hand with this. I get this a lot. This is a Scotch 3M Advanced Tape Runner, and then I get the Advanced Tape Runner refill, the permanent kind, not the repositionable stuff. These are stickers from that bento box, and I just love it. It's humongous, and it feels even better to work in this humongous journal with it. I don't care that this stuff won't last forever and ever and ever, amen. It just needs to last for as long as I flip through the journal, and if I flip through the journal and something comes out, I'll just grab another piece of glue or I'll grab this again and stick it back in. I'm not so precious to think about like the super longevity of my journals. I do care that they're going to last and that people can look through them and that I can flip through them, you know, 20 times a day. But I don't really care that they're not going to last for 400 years. Like when people only want to use archival quality items or only want to use things that are acid and lignin free, like I get it. And I really wouldn't bash anyone for doing any of that. Do what you need to do. I just chose not to be bothered by that because it just felt really restrictive sometimes. It felt like I was choosing not to use certain things, or I was choosing not to document certain things, or like I would stop using fluorescent colors altogether. I'd stop using bright pink pens, like all of these things that I knew over time would fade or deteriorate. I just felt like, oh, I don't want to use that. Like I had these big soy-based ink pads for my rally stamps, and I thought, well, this is most likely going to, you know, not last. I should use something archival. But then I wasn't just not going to use those big soy-based ink pads. And then there was this compostable, like biodegradable packaging for something. And I thought, well, if I put it in here, like, it's probably just going to disappear over time. But I thought, you know what? I'm putting it in here. Like, I want to put it in here. I don't care if it does degrade over time. Maybe half of it will be left and it'll be an even better story of what it once was. And I always have the videos to look back on and see what it looked like when it was full and whole. So I've just decided not to worry about any of that anymore. I don't ever really sell any original artwork, so it's never a concern of mine to make sure that something is archival and, you know, will stand up to the UV rays coming into the household. At this point, all bets are off. Anything is possible. I can use anything and everything, and I do. So that's just that on that, if I haven't said that before, because it comes up from time to time. Like, a lot of the time we buy beautiful art supplies and they have all these wonderful claims to, you know, light fastness and this archival quality, and it's going to last 300 years. And, you know, it can be important for some people, but for some people it really isn't that important, and you are paying extra for that stuff that you really maybe find out you don't actually care about, and you could be paying a lot extra for it and have just as good a time. Like, you know, I have these beautiful Derwent Lightfast pencils, and they're absolutely gorgeous, but they're expensive. You could get away, if you don't want to put anything on display, you know, in direct sunlight, you can get away with just using Prismacolor that are a fraction of the price and will give you kind of the same experience. It's never really the same though. I will say, when you use some of the most expensive stuff, like, you really do feel differently about it. I can't tell though if it's just a placebo effect, but I know I definitely have a really great time with some supplies that are expensive that I really can't find the same quality in a cheaper supply. Like, those Holbein artist colored pencils are so creamy and buttery. I have never drawn with anything like that that was cheaper. So stuff like that in like random categories. But anyway, other random thing I reach for all the time is this Muji metal ruler. Just a 15 centimeter ruler, really thin, always using it. I've had this for years and I love it. Put that there. Yeah, I think that's it actually. I don't think I'll show you anything else because I think I've got a video somewhere of like things I recommend for Christmas, don't I? It's all that stuff. I still reach for all that stuff too. This is my journal that I'm currently working in for kind of finished type pieces, like things that I want to use watercolor or, you know, mixed media art in. It's called InArt, INART is the brand. Diario Grafico. Great. I don't speak this lingua, but I'm going to just say that I got it from a Riot arts and crafts store in Australia when they were having a mad sale on them. I think this was like $2, and it shouldn't have been. It's a really great quality journal. It's hardcover, which is beautiful, but this, can you hear that? It's like cardstock. One of my other first art journals I got was like this because I thought it was watercolor paper. It's actually not. It's like a cardstock. It's sketch paper meets watercolor paper. It's this weird paper in the middle. I have never found another journal that has anything like this in it, and it holds up to a lot of wet media. It does buckle a little bit. It's not 300 GSM, but it is just such a beautiful quality. And to draw in this, like, don't look at all my stuff. Don't look at all my Virtual Voyage 8 stuff I shouldn't have just showed you. To draw in this is just a dream. Like, I really, really love it. It's not a diary for anything in particular, like it's not for workshops or anything, but I've just found myself gravitating towards this because the paper is just so smooth and beautiful. I'm so sorry. The only other place I've ever found this online to link was like a wholesale, I think it was in Spain or something, or Portugal, somewhere. It was somewhere in Europe, and it was wholesale, and I couldn't make sense of any of the ordering directions. And I think you had to have an account because usually wholesale would be selling to stores, not just regular people. So don't know how to get your hands on these. If you can go to a Riot Arts and Crafts in Australia, they might still have some because I think they were just kind of their generic brand. But yeah, the fact that I got them so cheap, like pencil sketches on this are just heavenly. And I have some smaller versions as well. I also have the sketch paper version. This one in particular, I think is marketed as watercolor. Oh no, it says drawing paper. There you go. It says drawing paper, but this one is not sketch paper. It's literal like cardstock. Love it. The sketch paper one is like sketch paper, and that's different. But they had a different size as well. It's so funny. I know it's from Australia because it's in A4, and Americans don't do the A4, which is always a little bit tricky. when I'm scanning things. But you make do. And then this is my jumbo journal. I will quickly flip you through this, and then I have to go get ready. This is from Outsiders Division, clothing brand that I absolutely loved. I'm just putting stickers that will last on the front. And then got my little mermaid, little posterette here. A lot of this is kind of finished already. This is from Playtest Patreon. Steve and I did these pages together. There's lots to flip through. Kind of have to put them back in the same order though, otherwise it all gets tangled. It's the only problem with having too many junky flip-ins. Flip-ins? Tip-ins? Flip-outs? What are they called? Goodness. I haven't not made a video in so long that I should be forgetting all these terms. I think I'm just really relaxed today. I was really on one last week. I just can't even imagine having made a video and being able to post it. Thank you again for being so patient and being understanding. You know, I rarely get like that. I rarely get to the point where I feel like I actually can't do my work, but it just caught up to me and I had to face reality. And I just felt so bad about it because I don't ever like to feel like I've been defeated, but especially by myself. Like, it was me against me last week, but it just was a lot. So thank you again. I appreciate it. I feel much better today coming on camera and having a chat and not trauma dumping everything that I was feeling. So it's a win-win, I guess. And I appreciate your patience. I did these for Art Journaling the Magic. I want to do more. I want to do a whole set of different characters, but I did some of my favorites on here. So I don't know. I want to do it again. Maybe I'll try a different rendering style. Maybe I'd do marker instead of watercolor. Although I like the watercolor. The watercolor is a little whimsical. Or maybe do brown lining instead of black, because the black is very bold. But maybe that's what I like about it. Still lots of places to add photos and text and stuff, because I've tipped in a whole bunch of stuff in here. This is my headshot. Oh, I need to print one of those. Great, I will get onto that as soon as this is finished. I might actually have to wait and upload this video later, because I was going to try and do it beforehand, but I really don't think I'll have time. I've got to be good about my time management. This is so random, but this is one of my favorite parts of the journal, was this bag that I tipped in, because it was so flat, but it actually holds like a full illustration in there. Like, it's the perfect size for a US letter piece of paper. I ripped the insides of this book out, this little booklet, the Jubilee booklet. There's my little hoodie. This page is done. This is Savannah at her ballet lessons, and that's my mum. And her post on Facebook that I laughed at so hard I took a screenshot of it, because she had just captioned it, "Me being a ballerina." My mum doesn't dance. It's so funny. Like, my mum really doesn't dance, and so when I saw this on her Facebook, I was cracking myself up. So this is a lot to do with dancing, this page. That's from my 100-day project. That was all the page I used to do my ghost stamping. You can kind of smell this. I can smell it. This is Sandalwood, Geranium, and Bergamot. Castile Body Bar. I have that in my shower at the moment. I love to put the soap packaging in here because it scents the journal. I'm sure it does damage to it. Like, I'm sure there's going to be an oil stain in here at some point, but it really smells nice. My Australian journal, my travel journal, I have another one of these. I think they're all the same thing, the Beach Road Naturals. My mum gave me a bunch of them for Christmas, and it's just so nice to smell them, because scent memory is really strong. And so when I'm documenting, it's all about documenting my memories. And I put a lot of visual cues in here as well. And it's not like I can really put anything to taste in here. And you can't really put anything to hear in here. I mean, maybe you could, maybe feeling the paper is some kind of thing. I don't know. But as far as documenting a memory, like, the only other senses we can capitalize on are touch. In a journal, I think it's like sight, touch, and smell. And so smell is like a really it's a really loaded kind of experience when it comes to memories. So to have some of those smells in there is really good. I've actually done, it's a bit too strong for me though. Like if it's a really strong smell, I can't handle it. But the perfume sample cards, like if Steve's got a perfume sample card from one of his colognes, like I can put it in here and then it'll always smell like Steve. So I think that's a really cute way to kind of capitalize on some of those memories. This is so big, it doesn't even fit into the frame. So big. There's the pad that I was talking about, the Mount Fuji pad, all my notes. I found this the other day. It was a 2021 calendar. So funny, I didn't know. What is this? Yuck. I don't miss this hair. I really don't. From time to time when I'm dancing, I think, oh, it'd be fun to have long hair because I could have really whipped it around, but it just never looked good. There were like 3 days I had it, looked okay. That was my calendar that year. Daisy Style Workshop. Here's one of those biodegradable bags that I was talking about. This is an old headshot. Who is that? I think Steve took that in 2017? 2016, 2017? It is old. Junk? Why is that not moving? See? Gets very... Oh, yeah, because I put it in too far. One wrong move and the whole journal doesn't work. This page looks empty because you just can't really see a lot of the drawings on it because they kind of blend in, but it's all drawings from my Daisy Style Workshop. There was our Pride Day at the beach. It was really fun. And my visor that I cut up. Some welcome home signs. More packaging. This is literal garbage page. I want a button. If I ever lose this button, make sure I know that it's in here. I don't know what it's from actually. Does it have a brand on it? I feel like it's from, oh, it's Outsiders Division. I thought it was the Ringers Western. What do I have from them that has this button? Oh, maybe it's that suit. I think it's a suit. My Kewpie mayonnaise. I had some of that today. And that's it. This is back page. I didn't have a piece of cardstock big enough to cover the whole thing, so I just made it a half page and figured eventually I'll staple an extra bit up in here. This is so mashed together. It is just really a hodgepodge of effort and enjoyment, which I really enjoy. That is everything. That's what I've been reaching for lately. Hopefully it's been a little bit of an insight. Again, thank you so much for your patience while I got this video recorded and uploaded to YouTube. I'm sure I'll let you know on Instagram today how the audition went, if I'm feeling up to it. I don't know. No, I'm just feeling very sensitive these past couple of weeks, so I don't know. If it's a good thing for me to share, I'm sure I'll share it. If it's not, don't worry about me. I'll see you when I'm feeling good. All right, goodbye everyone. Have a great day.